All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well, and I welcome you to a full day of gameplay streaming here yet again. Some new release fun on the first stream, and continuing on with an ongoing playthrough on the late stream. Today is Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Momentous week here, because there's so many new releases I'm already playing, and of course on Friday we got the impending release of Resident Evil 8. So lots of good stuff going on this week. I know we'll have more people here on certain streams because I'm covering new releases than usual. And to those people, of course, I say welcome, although doubtful that they're here for the pre-stream. Yeah, good stuff going on all around. Like right now, I'm actually pretty pleased with how all the playthroughs are going. For example, Nier Replicant, I'm enjoying it above expectations. Like, I felt that it was going to be like Nier Automata, but kind of like outdated. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like when you play a predecessor game to a modern franchise. Like when I played Knights of the Old Republic, I enjoyed it, but certainly I could see how there were a lot of game mechanics and things that were kind of wonky and outdated, but they became modernized game mechanics in games like Dragon Age. But with your Replicant, since they remade a lot of the combat engine and everything, it really does feel like a more modernized game that I'm enjoying. In addition, the plot's pretty good, although we kind of know what's going to happen with a lot of the plot. It is entertaining, and I don't know what's going to happen with it by the end of the game. You know, right now we've unlocked 3 different plot lines to do, and we're about to do one of them right now to start the stream, and likely we'll have time to do at least 1 or 2 others by the end. I don't know how close I am to the end of Nier Replicant, but I am definitely enjoying it a lot. So I hope you guys are too, and thanks for being here to chill with me during the Nier Replicant stream. Okay? Good stuff. Returnal. Well, the thing is about Returnal, I'm actually enjoying the game. Like, I actually really like the game. I think the graphics and gameplay are great, and the story is actually suspenseful and creepy. Of course, the problem is, because of the way that they designed the game to be a roguelike or roguelite game, you can have entire sessions of gameplay where there's 0 progress, and I kind of feel like that's what happened yesterday. We saw the entirety of the second biome all the way to the end. The only thing we didn't see was the boss, right? But literally no progress was made. Literally 0. Because the game just doesn't save anything. So, you know, I don't know how that game's going to pan out. Like, I like it, but if I end up having to replay the same biomes 3, 4, 5 streams to get through them and beat them, are people going to continue to tune in and care, or are you going to get bored right away? And I can't answer that. That's really up to your personal preference. Some of you may actually like seeing me, you know, tough through a very difficult thing and persevere. Others may say, wow, this is the same thing over and over. It's repetitious and boring. And I don't know how that's going to pan out, honestly. We'll see, I guess. You know, again, I'm open to keep playing it. I have it scheduled for tomorrow. I mean, we're going to have a little bit of a hiatus from games while I play Resident Evil 8 all weekend. But then these playthroughs will come back next week, right? So I'm open to keep playing it. If you guys are down for it, all right? I just don't know how it's going to go. I guess we'll see. New Pokemon Snap, actually, I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying it. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I am, but I am really liking the game. It's incredibly chill, not super challenging, but it's fun to just be able to do different things. You know, you're throwing food, you're using a scan, you're doing things to make the Pokemon do poses and act differently, and get these awesome pictures, and then you get graded, and it is a grindy loop. Let's put it that way. The game will play as a grindy loop, but the fact that we're actually doing them as chill streams, meaning you guys are hanging out with me, we're having fun, we're talking, and having a good time while I do it, makes it quite entertaining for me. So out of those 3 major new releases that I'm doing right now, I'm really enjoying them all. Like, I couldn't tell you, out of the 3 games, I'm actually not disappointed by any of them. I'm actually really happy with all 3 of the new games. If anything, the one thing that's kind of a bummer is that they're all out at once. I wish that these games had been spread out over the course of the last couple of months, and we could have maybe spent more time on each individual one, because you know what happens now. I'm playing 3 new releases. We got another one coming up on Friday with Resident Evil 8. And you know what's going to happen is that we're going to have to basically juggle them. And a lot of people don't like that. They want to see me basically play a new game and, you know, get through it not necessarily rushing through it, but they want to see progress. And admittedly, if you like one of these games, let's say, for example, let's say that Nier Replicant is your favorite game that I'm playing right now. You may be disappointed because I haven't played it in many days, right? I think I haven't played it since last week. And admittedly, you have a right to feel that way. You know, being that I'm a variety streamer and I try to variate what I do on the streams, and of course, every once in a while I actually have a day off, it is kind of a bummer to have to wait around to see your favorite game return, right? So I hear that. Again, I really wish that what they would do is space out releases, especially high-profile releases. We had a good 2-3 months earlier this year where there was like nothing, right? Or the things that were there were very niche. It wasn't like, oh, this is going to be a mainstream hit and everyone's going to be into it. Right now, all these games are games that are mainstream popular and people are excited for. So it's kind of weird that they do this and they release them all within the same time frame. But it always seems to have been like that. Okay? So anyway, let's talk about the schedule for this week. All right? Because I feel this week is going to be a incredibly hype streaming week. By the way, my schedule is determined. I am streaming every single day through Sunday. Monday is my next day off. So I am here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 more straight days of gameplay streaming. That's an 8-day straight streak. I know usually I don't stream that much, but that's just how the cards fell for this week in the schedule. Okay? So let's talk. Let's talk about what we can expect and what's going on. All right? And then, guys, I have something very important I need to talk about. I want to talk about myself and the future of my streams here. In regards to staying on Twitch full-time or having to leave, my plans for improvements, and an update in regards to my communications with Twitch about everything that's going on. All right? I do have a major... It's very important, especially for those of you who are invested here and want to know what's going to happen. It's a pretty big update. Okay? All right. But first, let's talk about the schedule. So, today, continuation of Nier Replicant right now on the stream. Okay? 3+ hours of progress. I'm hoping that we will advance the plot lines. Like I said, there's 3 major plot lines that looks like we're invested in, and I don't know what's going to happen in regards to the story, but I think we're going to do one plot line first, okay, which is going to be what is it? The hell? Sorry, I got distracted because I updated my email just to see if anything was going on this morning in regards to updates and stuff, and I got a fake email, fucking fish email. Someone's phishing here. I hate when that shit happens, when people are phishing. That's very frustrating. Now hold on a second. I'm seeing it's saying someone tipped me, but it's not showing up in Stream Elements. And that makes me worry. What is going on? Is Stream Elements screwed up today? Oh, never mind. Never mind. I know what's going on. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Sorry, guys. Let's continue. Sorry, I got distracted. So let's talk about the schedule. Nier Replicant today. We're wrapped up in multiple plot lines. I'm excited for advancement. I've really enjoyed the game, and I'm looking forward to another major stream of it. As I've said, I don't know how close to the end of the game we are, but I know it's going to be an entertaining time. I hope you guys will join me for this one. It's always a good time. Later tonight's the continuation of Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, after last week's debacle, and I will call last week's Divinity 2 stream a debacle, absolutely that was a train wreck, okay? Let's talk about what's going to happen with the Divinity 2 playthrough moving forward, alright? I've determined that sadly this game is a game that, because of the way it was designed, as I've said since day one, the game's inaccessible. It's just not accessible at all to anyone who has not played this franchise before, to anyone who has not played this style of RPG before. Like, I'm being told, if I had played D&D games, if I had played Baldur's Gate, if I had played the original Divinity, that basically I'd be like coasting through this game and really enjoying it, but with having no background in that, okay? I'm basically now in a part of the game where this is the meat of the game. We're not in the intro anymore, we're in the meat of the game. That the game allows you to go do whatever you want, but sadly, like 90% of the stuff available to you is over level. You can't just do it because when you get there, everything kicks your ass. Okay? That's disappointing to me. It absolutely is disappointing to me. I like RPGs where you can explore, and I like RPGs with side content, but I like side content you can actually complete. Not side content you have to wait 25 hours to go back to complete. That's frustrating to me. Why have it all available if you can't do it? Right? And what happened is the last couple of streams of Divinity 2, I decided I wanted to explore around the town of Driftwood. Now, to some extent, it was successful. There was actually some high-level fights that I probably shouldn't have been able to beat, but because I basically piled onto summoners and killed them, it allowed me to win the fights, even though I probably shouldn't have, okay? But then last stream was just ridiculous. I was trying to complete side quests, and they were insanely overpoweredly difficult. A room full of terracotta soldiers that have 2 leaders that if you don't kill them, they auto-revive every soldier you kill. Oh, but when you kill the leaders, the soldiers are still alive anyway. So you have to kill like 30, 40 enemies. Right? I take that back. It's probably like 24 terracotta soldiers and the 2 leaders. But that's ridiculous. And they're over-leveled, by the way. It would be one thing if they were your level. They're not. They're all over-leveled to me. So I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. I ended up spending like an hour and a half on this. And I didn't beat it. And it's very frustrating to waste that time because I'm only playing Divinity once a week. And to waste 2 hours is just, it really drives me bonkers. Okay? So, what I'm doing moving forward in Divinity 2 is very simple. I'm going to listen to those of you who've played it. I'm going to listen to your advice as to what I'm supposed to do to advance the plot. And I'm just going to do it. Okay? That's it. Now, when I get leveled up enough that I could probably go to these other areas and do this other content, then I will. But at this point, I am not going to go wandering around and wasting my time. I'm just not, or else we'll have no progress. I'll be playing this game for 2 months, 8 to 10 hours of gameplay, and we won't advance it at all. Right? So, that's how I'm approaching it. So please, tonight, for those of you who've played the game before, and those know what to do to play it, please help me out. And it's hilarious because you got idiots right now in the stream chat. Yes, idiots. Oh, so the chat's going to play the game for them. Fuck you. No, really. Fuck you. We tried it of me just wandering around trying to figure it out. It's not possible. The game is not accessible. The game requires you to know exactly the level of the enemies you're fighting. It makes you need to know scenarios to win fights. If I don't know that because I'm playing it once a week and I didn't do prerequisite research, we'll never progress in the game. The game is so incredibly long. We wondered the game was 10 hours long. The game's like 150 hours long. No, I'm not going to waste fucking time. I'm just not going to do it. So it's either people help me, which is the point of interactive streaming, is that when you have issues in a game like this that you don't understand, your audience helps you so that you can actually make progress, and it's kind of a collective effort to keep going in a game. Or I could just quit the game. And I don't want to do that because it's supposed to be a viewer's choice playthrough. You guys nominated for it, voted it in last year, waited months on end for me to start it up because of the kind of RPG it is. And I don't want to drop it. I want to keep going. I want to continue and persevere in this game. All right? But I need the buy-in of the viewers that people can help me with it so that I can actually have progress. Okay? All right? So tonight, that's the deal. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, 2 hours of Divinity 2. Please help me with the plot so we can advance the game. I can actually level up and we can make progress instead of just wasting time. Okay? There you go. Tomorrow, we're returning back to Returnal. Yes, I'm not giving up on Returnal. Even though yesterday I played it for 3+ hours and I did not essentially make any progress at all. At the very least, I know everything that's in the second stage. I know how to beat everything that's in the second stage. I just need to get a good loadout, and essentially I need to get lucky with the drops so I can get powered up weapons, get to the end with most of my health, and be able to fight the boss. And in fact, in Returnal, most people that this first weekend that just passed, the number one complaint about the game is that because the drops are RNG, meaning they're randomly generated, some people went right through the second world, got great drops, went to the end, beat it, done, no problem. There's some people who've been playing the second biome in Returnal right now since it came out last week and still haven't beaten it. They're like, I just can't beat it. I get to the end, I can never beat the boss because I don't get a good enough loadout. I try hard and, I just can't do it. I don't know what to do. And that's probably the nature of the game. You know, the game is supposed to be, the game is supposed to be what they call a roguelike. But that means there's so many randomized factors to the game that sadly, you can't really control them all. You know what I'm saying? So I might again play it all day tomorrow and never beat the second world. Or I might turbo right through it because I get good drops and I'm destroying everything with great weapons. And, you know, it's kind of weird how they designed the game like that. But I guess we'll see. I'm not giving up on the game. The thing is, like I said, despite the fact that I had an entire stream with no progress, okay? I like the gameplay. I like the graphics. I like the creepiness of the story. I want to know what else is going to happen in this game, but I have to keep playing it. So, tomorrow, Returnal returns. All right? Excuse me. Tomorrow night, it's more Pokemon Snap, or I should say, new Pokemon Snap. Currently, we have unlocked a few new areas. We're currently at a beach and or coral reef, which we're trying to get good pictures of to level up and unlock new stages. But then we also have a desert that's been unlocked. And right next to the desert, looks like there's going to be a volcano stage that we'll probably unlock if we do really well at the desert. So there's a lot of stuff we're doing in Pokemon Snap. It's fun. It's chill. And that continues tomorrow night on the late stream. Okay? Excuse me. Then on Thursday, we'll swing back to Near Replicant for another stream. And what I'm assuming is between today's 3+ hours of progress and Thursday's 3+ hour stream, we likely will beat the first run of Near Replicant. Okay? I think. I can't imagine it being longer than, like, say, you know, 20, 25 hours. I can't imagine the game being longer than that, especially because they expect you to do multiple runs. So, we shall see how it goes. But I'm excited for that, and I hope that we can maybe wrap up the first run by the end of Tuesday's stream. Okay? Excuse me. Thursday's stream. What I meant to say. Thursday night, I'm going to do a late night chill stream of MLB The Show. This is a game that I was playing regularly for the past couple of weeks, but now it's going to go to basically kind of a once-a-week chill deal because there's so many other games out right now. It's been good, though. People have come out and supported it and had fun hanging out with me as I played MLB, and I hope you'll be here Thursday night for that. Okay? Then on Friday, the big stuff finally starts. Okay? Resident Evil 8 Village. Everyone's hyped for this game. Everyone's excited. Everyone wants to know, will it be good? Will it be as good as Resident Evil 7 was? Does it even have anything to do with Resident Evil? Because it seems like the game really is very different from the previous Resident Evil outings. I guess we're going to find out. If anything, for me, here's my opinion. As long as it's a good survival horror game, I'm okay with it. I don't even care, really, if it ties in with the Resident Evil plotline at this point, because they've gone so off the rails with Resident Evil over the years at this point. I don't even know if it's, like, understandable how this ties into the T virus or the G virus or the XYZ virus or whatever the fuck virus. Maybe there's no virus. I don't know anymore. At this point, I would not be shocked if Lady Dimitrescu rips her face off and reveals that it's just Albert Wesker underneath. I don't know how they're going to tie any of this together. At this point, I don't think it's ever going to make sense. Okay? All I'm looking for is an entertaining, creepy horror game. That's what I'm looking for. Okay? I hope it is. I hope it's good. So that's going to start on Friday, and it's actually going to be my main gameplay stream all weekend long. I am here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so it will be my featured stream all 3 days. My goal is to make as much progress in the game as possible over the weekend. Now, I might not beat it. The reports are the game clocks in at roughly 10 hours long. It depends on how much time you investigate things in the atmosphere of the game. Some people will rush through it and probably beat it more quickly. Some people will take their time walking around reading the lore and things that you find in the game, and then maybe they'll take longer. Maybe it'll take like 10 to 15 hours, you see? So, I'm not sure how far we'll get over the course of the weekend, but I am excited for it. It's the first major horror game I've played in a while. It should be a fun time to see what they've done with the latest Resident Evil. See, here's my opinion. Resident Evil's done this before in a game like Resident Evil 6. Now, Resident Evil 6 was not survival horror in any way besides one stage where Leon was the main character and there were zombies invading like a university. Outside of that, the game mostly was not survival horror. It was mostly run and gun kind of action. I still liked the game because it was really high level run and gun action. The production values were done well. The story was interesting. So I was okay with the game, despite the fact most people panned it. Okay? So as long as Resident Evil 8 is a good game overall, I really don't care if it fits in with the Resident Evil plotline. I've never been this hardcore demanding fan of Resident Evil where everything must be Resident Evil-esque, okay? As long as it's a good game, I'll be happy with it. And I think you guys will probably enjoy the streams over the weekend because usually when I play survival horror games, they're very entertaining to watch, okay? So, I hope you guys will join me over the course of this weekend. Again, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be Resident Evil 8. Now, the night streams will be varied. On Friday night, it'll be my weekly throwback session of Street Fighter like I usually do. All right, that's cool. On Saturday night, I believe I schedule... Hold on. I'm gonna before I misspeak here and I confuse everyone, I'm gonna read it right off of my profile here. Saturday night, I've scheduled in... That's right. Danganronpa V3. Now, Danganronpa V3 has really picked up. When we played it a couple days ago, there was a double murder. And now it's a huge mystery. Is it the same person who murdered two people? Is it two completely different murderers? How did they pull it off? It really has picked up and gotten interesting. Okay? So I'm excited for that, and I can't wait to play more of that on Saturday night. I hope you guys will join me for that. Okay? Then on Sunday night, we'll do a late night stream of Nier Replicant, just for variety's sake. Alright? And that way we'll actually get some good variety. And you might say, well, why aren't you playing Returnal instead of Nier Replicant? Because I can't. Returnal is a game that if you want to make progress, you have to play it for around roughly 3 hours. In fact, yesterday, right around near the end of my stream, I had gotten to the second boss, and I was like, you know, I don't have enough health. Let me run back and try to get health to fight it, and then I die. So then the whole thing was erased. But that's what I mean. The game needs about 3 hours to be played and make progress, so there's no point in playing Returnal as a 2-hour late stream. I'll never make progress. So, we'll see what happens, but it should be fun. Nier Replicant continuing Sunday night. And again, if I wrap up my first run on Thursday, then likely this will be the start or continuing into the second run. And we'll see how things are different, and we'll see how the endings change and the like. So it should be interesting, okay? That's the streaming week. Monday, I am off from streaming. Now, next week will be highly determined by how far I got in Resident Evil 8. My goal is to beat my first run of Resident Evil 8 in the coming week, because why? The week after, the Mass Effect trilogy comes out. So I want to beat Resident Evil 8 because it's a shorter game, only around 10 to 15 hours. I want to beat it so that way we can move on to the next thing and not have another lingering game, okay? So whether that means I play Resident Evil 8 again on Tuesday, or I wait a day and play Returnal Tuesday and I play it on Wednesday, that's to be determined, okay? But the goal is to make great progress in Resident Evil 8 over the course of the weekend, okay? Fair enough? Paradox says, it ain't 15 hours. Now, here's the thing, okay? Some people are saying it's only 10 hours long, but you have to understand, again, a lot of people rush through these games. They're purposely they're not investigating. They're not reading any logs. They're just saying, oh, look, the game can be beaten in 10 hours. Well, yeah, technically it can if you skip half the atmosphere of the game. You kind of missed the point of the game if you did that. Didn't they just say that about the one that came out in the fall that I played? God, what was it called? Oh, Amnesia. Didn't they say Amnesia could be beaten in like 8 hours? And they're like, wow, you're paying top dollar for an 8-hour game? Like, yeah, but if you actually take your time in Amnesia, if you read the logs, you're trying to understand the atmosphere of the game's much longer than that. It's just that you have to actually care about the game and not rush through it like an asshole. Okay? Golden Cold says, you know, people said Resident Evil 3 was only 6 hours long, but you can actually beat it in an hour and a half, so it goes the other way, too. I guess it makes sense. I guess that makes sense, too. So, we'll see what happens. All right? But my goal is beat Resident Evil 8, play a ton of it over the weekend, beat it by next week, so that way we can jump into Mass Effect, and have Mass Effect join the rotation of games the week after. Okay? That's the goal. All right? So that's the schedule. I hope that sounds good. I mean, right now I'm juggling 3 new releases, another one on Friday, playing it all weekend. I'm excited for this week. Obviously, right now, if you've seen stream attendance recently, stream attendance has been great because people are coming to hang out for the new releases, and that's a great thing. Okay? So, excellent. in that regard. And thank you guys for chilling with me recently for all the new releases. I hope you've been enjoying them. All right. So here's the deal, everyone. I do want to talk about this because it's important. I did have a minor update from Twitch about what's going on. And sadly, I'm going to tell you this. The news doesn't sound very good. To the point where, you know, I've been telling you guys since I lost my partnership back on April 21st, which was roughly 2 weeks ago. All right. I've been nervous about the future because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make ends meet and be able to stream full time on Twitch without having revenue from the partner program, which was subscriptions and bits. And I've told you guys, if you could convert over from cheering and subbing and instead tip me during the streams or pledge to my Patreon, then maybe I could still make this work full time. And I told you guys I was going to do an experiment last week, see how it went. The truth is the experiment was successful. Last week, the support was great. And if I could keep getting that level of support, that means I would actually be able to stay here on Twitch without the partner program. All right? That's just being truthful. It went well last week. And there's no reason why I wouldn't be able to stick around. Okay? But this week, guys, the last 2 days have not been good at all. I did not hit a support goal once at all in the past 4 streams. Some of them I didn't even get halfway. Now, listen. Not every single stream can be a monstrous success, and not every single stream ever has ginormous amounts of financial support. They're never going to have that. I understand that. Even when I was in the partner program, there were some streams when not only tips, but cheering and subbing were low. And that's okay every once in a while. But this has been 4 straight streams. Okay? And I'm playing the new releases. It's not like, oh, well, Phil, it's because you're playing all downtime stuff. No, I'm playing the new releases, and still this is happening. Okay? Now, here's the thing. If a certain factor was going to happen, then it might not have been so bad, but it sounds like it may be pretty bad. Allow me to explain. So behind the scenes of all this stuff going on the past couple of weeks, I've been constantly trying to be in contact with Twitch about what happened. I sent them 2 request logs. The first request log was, hey, you kicked me out of the partner program. Can you tell me why? And can you tell me if I'm eligible to reapply? Because I need to know what's going on. They have not responded to that log at all. At all. All right? They basically asked for me to confirm my identity. I did, and then they never responded. And it's been 2 weeks now. Okay? So they're never going to respond to that one. Okay? Now, there's a second log that I put in over the course of the last week. And this one was as follows. Okay, you kicked me out of the partner program. I require information on how much I earned during the actual weeks of April that I was in the partner program, which would have been the first 3 weeks. I was kicked out on April 21st. And I need to know not only how much I earned, but when you're going to pay me for it. Because this is revenue I need to pay bills and keep my not only my business afloat, but pay my mortgage and things. These are things. This is income I depend on every month. And I understand you kicked me out. You won't tell me why, but I need to know what's going on with the balance of what was left over, because I need to know if I can pay bills and stuff this month. Okay? So here's the thing. They responded to that one. Now here's the funny thing. People were like, oh, maybe the reason they didn't respond to your first request was just because they're backed up. No, because if that was the case, they wouldn't have responded to the second request and not the first. It's obvious they just don't want to say anything about the first one. They don't want to reveal any reason. Okay? So they did respond to the second request, and here's what they said. Once basically you're out of the partner program, the generic help people can't help you anymore. I have to direct that request to the legal department, because the legal department will hash out anything in regards to anything remaining after the fact. I guess what they're basically saying is partner support is only there to help you while you're a partner. Once you're not a partner anymore, they don't have any kind of responsibility to help anyone. And so because I'm not a partner anymore, they're not going to talk about if there's any residuals, if I'm getting paid. They don't have that information. I have to talk to the legal department. Yeah. So they gave me the address for the legal department, and I did email them. Same email. I basically just said, hey, listen, the help department is saying, or the support team, I guess I should say, is saying they can't help me. Can you help me? Because I need to know, am I getting any payment this month for all the work I put in for the 3 weeks that I earned under the partner program in April? And I basically said, listen, I know for a fact, by the way, legally, you are owing me this. All right? Because here's the thing, over the years, I looked into it, there have been many situations where partnerships like this have had disputes, where a company would kick someone out of a partnership, or there's a dispute between the two sides of the partnership and they can't come to a mutual agreement. And there have been many times when a company has tried to withhold funds. It doesn't work. Every single time that's ever happened, they got sued, whether it was a class action lawsuit or a direct lawsuit, and they had to pay up. They had to pay up every time. Now, you guys remember, both with Machinima and with Curse, both companies where I had partnership agreements, okay? Both of those, I was released from the partnership, just like what happened with Twitch, okay? Same exact situation, essentially, where they were like, we just decided to terminate. In fact, with Machinima, that was exactly what happened. Machinima never gave me a direct answer. It was just, we are terminating your partnership agreement. All right? But Machinima paid me what they owed me for what I had earned up to that moment. Okay? So, legally, Twitch would have to pay me. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be difficult about it. Okay? If Twitch were to do the right thing here, what they would do is everything that was not refunded, because I am aware that you guys told me that anyone who had subbed within like 2-3 days of when the partnership was terminated, you guys got refunds, right? That's right. So if you guys got refunds, fair enough. But for everyone who did not get refunded, and of course for all the cheering that happened, all that legally is actually mine. Doesn't matter if they terminated the partnership because they executed their part of the agreement where they can do that. Legally, they still owe me what I earned for the first 3 months of April. Okay? It doesn't actually matter what's in their terms of service. It doesn't matter. In the terms of service of AdSense, Google AdSense, it says that too. In the terms of service of both the contracts I had with Machinima and Curse, it said that too. But legally, they had to pay me. It doesn't matter what's in there. It's what's legal. Like, I tell you guys this all the time. Companies try this stuff all the time. They put clauses in things. They say these things. It doesn't matter. What matters is what's actually legal in the system. And even though they might have that in their contract, it doesn't mean that it's enforceable. It just means that they're trying to cover their own butts, but it doesn't mean that it actually means anything. All right? Now, here's the thing. Am I going to sue Twitch? Of course not. Absolutely not. I have no plans to take any legal action against Twitch. I can't anyway. Even if I wanted to, I don't have the money to do it. And quite frankly, it's not worth it. For the amount that I probably earned within 3 weeks, it's definitely not worth it. Okay? So I'm not going to be doing anything like that at all. But the fact that the support team is basically telling me, well, you got to talk to the legal team, that basically tells me this is not going to be an easy thing. This is probably going to be a situation where they're probably not going to pay me. That sucks. Now, here's why. This is me being as transparent with you guys as I can as an audience, all right? How this usually works is as follows, all right? In the middle of the month, which typically was around the 15th of every month, Twitch would pay me. When Twitch paid me, I would use that to pay my mortgage immediately and also to pay things such as my back tax payment that I have to pay every month. That comes up just a few days after that, as well as other bills and stuff that pop up around that time, like utilities and stuff. Okay, so that's what the Twitch money would go to. It would be the mortgage, it would be utilities, it would be back taxes, all those things. Okay, then a little bit later in the month, I get my monthly YouTube payment for ad revenue on YouTube, and I would use that money usually to pay my monthly income tax payment to the feds, and then whatever's left over would pay the residuals of all the bills and everything that I have until the end of the month. Now, you guys remember that usually within the first 2 weeks of the month, I tell you that's the tightest time of the month for me. Because usually I rely on tips. You guys tipping me during the live streams to pay all my bills. That's very much correct. During the first 2 weeks of the month, you guys, your tips pay everything here. And what are the bills that I pay in the beginning of the month? I'll be transparent with you. All right? My car payment, which actually I have to pay by the end of today. So I got my car payment. The dues on this condo that I live in now. The dues on the condo in Connecticut that I'm stuck with because they still won't foreclose on it because I think they're sitting on it to wait for the home value to go up so they make more money on the sale. So there's nothing I can do about that. I'm stuck with that every single month. Also, my internet bills. My 2 internet bills have to clear. So that's 4 major, huge payments that I have to make between now and the middle of the month. When typically I would get paid by Twitch. So usually it's your tips would pay those bills, all right? And then when I got paid by Twitch, all right, now I have the funds to pay my mortgage and everything else, okay? So that's basically how it works for me every month. Now, some months are better, where things are better. Maybe I got a little bit extra. That's great. Some months are not so good. And then you hear me talk about it publicly on the stream. Man, things went slower this month and I need help. Stuff like that. That's pretty much how it's been month to month. All right? That's my life right now. And it's funny because some people have said, well, Phil, since the bankruptcy, didn't things get financially better for you? Well, yeah, but the way they got financially better is I don't owe a bunch of credit card debt anymore. But instead now, the payments that I had going towards the credit card debt are now going towards the federal taxes I owe every month and the back tax plan to pay the taxes I didn't pay for the last 3 years. You see? So there's no, because Phil had bankruptcy granted last year, all his funds are freed up. That's actually very much not the case at all. It's now the money is going to where it should be going rather than going to this frivolous credit card debt. Okay? So it's very different. Now, here is my major concern, all right? Again, trying to be as transparent with you guys as I can, because I, overnight kind of, went from being a little bit worried and nervous about the future to flat out being afraid. And here's why. If they don't pay me what they owe me for what I earned in the month of April under the partner program, come May 15th, I don't have any money to pay the mortgage. That's the money that every month I use to pay the mortgage. Okay? So, here's the thing. If you do the math and you think about it, okay? The reason that I set up the daily goals that we have here on the streams, okay, is very simple. If I hit those daily goals, I would raise enough money to pay the bills that I have here at the beginning of the month and raise the excess that would allow me to pay the mortgage when it comes the middle of the month if I don't get paid by Twitch. Which at this point, being that they referred me to the legal team, I'm going to just assume they're not going to pay me. Okay? I'm just going to assume it, that they're not going to pay me. So, what I really need to do is, sadly, do my best to kind of raise what I need. And that's why I have these goals in place. You know, if I'm hitting these goals, it's making up for the fact that there's no cheering, no subbing, and it's allowing me to raise the funds I need in the short term to pay my mortgage in about 11 days. Okay? So that's the problem, is I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I have no clue what's about to happen. Right? And that makes me incredibly nervous right now. Like, what am I going to do if I don't raise the goals I need to pay this mortgage and Twitch doesn't pay me? I'm screwed. Now I'm behind on the mortgage. By the way, I have to pay the taxes. If I don't pay the taxes, I default. If I default, now the government comes after me for the tax money, which is not good. That means they're going to try to basically grab any funds that come in that need to go to other things and take it first. You see? This is not good. Now, here's the thing. All right? First of all, up until last week, things were going good. I wasn't nervous. Because like I said, as of last week, the streams I was hitting the goals or getting close to it. It was good. For some reason this week, we've slowed down dramatically. And I don't know why. Because people were saying, yes, it makes sense. We're going to support. We used to cheer and sub. We're not going to do that anymore. We'll tip. And a few people have pledged to Patreon. I'll be honest, not a ton. I think it was like an additional maybe 24 people have pledged to my Patreon who didn't used to. So that's a very small handful of the people who used to sub here went over to the Patreon. And I do appreciate, by the way, I do appreciate those who have supported in that way, because I realize that that's very different from subbing here. You don't get immediate gratification, all right? And I get that, but thank you to those who did do that, okay? Now, what I'm trying to tell you is very simple, all right? I love live streaming. I love doing this for a job. I'm not giving up, but I have plans. Like, I wanted things to improve things around here to get them back to the way they were. I'll give you an example. I can go and I can do a premium membership with Better Twitch TV that allows me to get 50 emotes. That means I could essentially bring back all of the emotes that you guys are losing because your final subs are expiring. I can get those back for the channel, okay? I have the ability to bring in a bot, and this bot's sole purpose would be to track a currency for the channel, you know, channel points, penne points, and we could actually bring back wagers to the channel via the form of this bot. Okay? Also, what was the third thing? Because there's 3 things that I'm working on. God, now I'm having a brain fart. What was the third major thing that we lost as a result of the subs going away? Now I can't even remember off the top. Oh, shit. Anyway, the point I'm making is thus. All right? I can make significant improvements to the streams to try to bring them back to the level that they were at when I was still in the partner program. That's right. King Oak and Hit. He says the polls. We can work with Nightbot, and you know, it would take a little bit of work to try to streamline it and tweak it. Make Nightbot work to do polls for the streams so that we could bring back the polls, since again the polls went away when I lost the partnership. Okay? So I could do all of this. All right? I could re-implement a lot of this stuff. But what's the point of doing that if I can't make a living here anymore? Right? What's the point of doing all that work and getting all that stuff set up if I'm just going to end up leaving Twitch in the next couple of weeks and go somewhere else? Namely, it would be jumping to YouTube, at least for the short term. Right? There's no point. I'd be putting in all this work and effort. Everyone will be like, oh, this is great. Oh, by the way, I can't make enough to make a living here anymore. I got to leave. Bye. And then, what did I do it for? Right? So that's the point I'm making. Is I need to know, over the next week, is this still viable? It was viable up until last week. And all of a sudden, this week, the last 2 days, I haven't hit a tips goal at all. Right? I'm not even close. And that's a bad sign. Like, is this a sign that it was basically just a very short-term outpouring of support, and now that's it? It's dried up? Because if that's the case, that's bad. Okay? That's not good at all. That's very, very bad. And I don't know what to do about that. All right? I just don't. I'm gonna probably have to go somewhere where there'll be other kinds of support. Here's my major question. Now, I'd like an honest answer, please. Everyone, please be honest. When I was in the partner program, you guys could sub and you could cheer. What is your major reason for not converting that support over to either tipping or pledging to my Patreon? And if your answer is, well, it's because we had Twitch Prime and we were getting the free sub, I completely 100% understand that. 100% I understand that. All right? But the other question is, what is the other reason? Some people are saying Twitch Prime. Fair enough. I understand that. They're saying it was free. It was a free sub. I get that. Tipping gives away personal information is completely false. I've already answered that a million times. That's a conspiracy theory from assholes who don't want me to succeed and be able to keep doing what I do for a living. 100% it's a lie. I get no personal information about you at all when you tip, besides an email address. That's it. So it's bullshit, and you shouldn't believe lies from people. Just like the idiots who are anti-vax. Oh, when you take the vaccine, you grow a third arm and you fucking, you know, what are you talking about? We're trying to stop the coronavirus from spreading. Don't get the vaccine because of conspiracy theories now? It's fucking ridiculous. People just make shit up and want to believe it because they're dumb. Don't be one of those fucking people. Seriously. Think for yourself. Some people are saying your sub was gifted. Fair enough. That's another good reason, I would say. Either a gifted sub or a Twitch Prime sub. Then I would understand. Because technically, you weren't financially contributing anyway. It was something that was free or gifted. That I understand. But, for example, a lot of people used to cheer. Right? Definitely a lot of people used to cheer. And I will say there's a few people like Snow Carl who I see them now tipping $1 here, $1 there to make up for how they used to cheer. And I get that. I totally understand that. All right? But I'm seeing a lot of people who used to cheer. You know, that's it. It's like, well, can't cheer, I'm done. Is it because, all right, here's a question. Is it because maybe previously you were using like a credit card to pay for contributions? And now because the way that my PayPal is set up, that it's a verified deal, is it too much of a hassle because you can't just go and have it done? Instead, you have to have the verified PayPal. Is that what it is? I'm curious. Snorlax says it was cheaper to cheer than tipping minimum. Completely false. Completely false, because the insane profit margin that is actually taken when you buy bits, it's way, way cheaper to tip than it is to cheer. That is completely false. 100%. Slow Carl is saying people feel that, again, PayPal is insecure. I'm telling you again, it's not. It's not. It's not unsecured. The only thing I ever see when you tip me is your email address and the payment method that you sent it with. Like, was it a verified payment or was it an unsecured credit card payment? I don't get information about the bank account or the credit card. I just gave in general information. That's it. The only way that anyone would be doxxed tipping is if you actively did it on purpose. Like, you put in your real name and all this personal information into your email address and or name on PayPal, and then you tip someone, then you're doxing yourself. But you have the ability to change all that to make it so you hide your identity. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's just ridiculous. So, as you can see, we have asshole conspiracy theorists in here, and I'm just getting rid of them all. I'm not putting up with it. I'm not putting up with nonsense. I'm not. It's just fucking ridiculous. I'm just going to ban every idiot who's going to say, oh, conspiracy theory. That's fake. You guys have to understand something. Your stupidity hurts people. Your outright dumb fuck stupidity, right? Believing nonsense that has no factual basis actually concretely hurts people. So I'm not going to put up with your bullshit. I'm just not. I'm not going to allow you to lie publicly on a stream where I rely on this as income, and you're going to tell people don't tip because it doxes you when it doesn't. You're a liar. You're an idiot. You believe anything because you're stupid, and you want to believe the drama, and you want to believe the negativity, and you're probably, I'll be honest, you're probably rooting for me to fail. And that's why you're going to sit here and say that. So you can go fuck off and don't come back. Okay? Enough is enough. So here's the thing. All I am asking for is the same level of support that I was already getting, but it has to be in a different form. All right? I understand many people used to sub and they can't sub anymore because they don't have Twitch Prime anymore. Maybe people got gifted subs. Okay, totally understand that part. All right? But people who used to cheer, people who used to sub for themselves every month, I don't understand why, if you like the content, you couldn't convert over to either pledging to the Patreon, which is actually even more simple. You can set up a recurring thing on Patreon every month for however much you want. If you want to just go with the standard amount that the sub was, it's $5, right? It's not a big deal. But yeah, I've only seen about 20, 25 people go over there and do that. So obviously with 900 people who were subbing, there's a big disconnect here. Okay? That's a big disconnect. I don't know. I don't understand the disconnect. Okay? I don't. And cheering, okay, maybe like I said, maybe what it is you used to buy bits with a credit card, and it was so easy, you go click, 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 done. And you can't do that when you tip me, because I can't accept unsecured tips because of fraud. All right? I get that too. I totally understand these things. But there's a difference between, okay, there's a small difference or there's a giant difference. And right now, it's a giant difference. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now, so here's the deal, everyone. Right now, I essentially have 11 days to not only continue to stream and raise as much as I can to pay the bills that I need to pay in the next week, I need to try to find a way to raise as much as I can to pay my mortgage. And if I don't, I'm screwed. If I don't have enough to pay my mortgage, I don't know what I'm going to do. All right? I also don't feel that if I just ran away from Twitch to YouTube right now that it would solve anything either. I don't. Because even if that happened, and even if people became very generous and immediately started doing things like the memberships and the super chats over there, I don't even think that I would get that revenue this month. I think that there's a month processing time before you get it. So I probably wouldn't even receive any of that until next month anyway. So there's no real point to rushing from one site to the other until we actually see what's really going to happen. All right? And here's the other thing. As I said, I want to stay here. I like being here. This is a 4+ year, situation where I've worked here to build a community. And I found, I looked behind the scenes and I found not necessarily 100% equivalent, but at least things that are similar to the things that we have lost. I can get back the emotes via, of course, a browser plugin with Better Twitch TV, but that's going to be a lot of work to have to pay for the premium service and then load them in, get them working, and then basically get everyone to convert over to using Better Twitch TV. All right. I can get polls back with Nightbot. It's going to take some tweaking to get the polls working because Nightbot is very simplistic, but I think we could get that to work. Like, for example, we hit a vest goal. You could vote on the vest, right? The people love doing that. We could bring that back. We could do channel points, penne points. We'll just call them penne points. And we could do events where you guys do wagers on the games I'm playing, and it's the virtual points will come back. It'll track how many points each chatter has and everything, just like we have. We can bring back all this stuff. I want to bring back all this stuff, but I can't commit to doing it until I know if I can stay here. And with the fact that the last 2 days we saw a sheer drop in support on the last 4 streams, that makes me worry. I don't even know what I'm going to do. It came to the point where it was like, wow, I'm feeling very positive. People are very supportive right now. They're helping me, going above and beyond. This is great. To what the hell just happened? 2 straight days where everything's slow, right at the time when I need to be raising the funds to possibly pay my mortgage, because I don't know if Twitch is going to pay me what they owe me for last month. You see what I'm saying? It was a complete flip. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't think I could do anything about it. In the short term, I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I think it's a long-term change. Yes, long-term, if I'm going to leave Twitch and go to YouTube, for example, yes, I could do that, but that wouldn't even help me in the short term. That wouldn't help me with this mortgage situation. You see? So, that's the deal. All right? That's the diction. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Just shut up. He actually just said, I don't need better internet because I'm only streaming at 720p. I just want to like, oh my God. All right. How about this? You're the last person to speak up about anything. Just stop. Just fucking stop now. Yes, downgrade my internet. Oh my God. I totally don't play multiplayer games all the time that require the best internet. I totally don't stream all day long and require the highest quality internet that won't drop. And if it does, they'll come fix it right away. Because this is my full-time job, I can downgrade my internet. But, oh my God. That's the kind of input someone doesn't need. You want to give me constructive criticism? Well, improve your streams by doing this or doing this. Great. Not downgrade the thing you've had for 7 years because you know you need it for your job. Oh my God. Oh. That's the kind of shit that gives me a headache. People who think they know better, and they're going to speak up out of nowhere. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, okay. Now go make videos about it, too. About how you know better. Okay. Anyway. Let us do some quick shout-outs, and then we're going to basically get started with gameplay for today. I got to take a quick break, of course, like usual. So a couple quick shout-outs. Snow Carl tipped $1.30. And he says, have you thought of ways you could be able to cut back in case you don't get paid by Twitch, like not eating out, canceling Disney Plus, or getting cheaper lease, etc.? There's no such thing as a cheaper lease. Don't even know what you're talking about. I don't lease anything. You can't get a cheaper mortgage. It's not how it works. Are there some things that potentially I can cut back on? Likely yes. Absolutely likely yes. They won't help me in the short term. You know what I'm saying? Like long term, if I'm seeing, okay, there's no way I'm going to make anywhere near as much as what I was making because I'm not in the partner program anymore. Okay? Great. But I can't make that happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to immediately save me a monstrous money to pay a mortgage. This is not going to happen. Okay? I have no credit. I just declared bankruptcy last year. Absolutely no one is going to take my debt, which is majorly my mortgage and my car loan, and do anything with it. I have no credit. All right? So that's not going to happen. Nice try. I mean, I appreciate, again, you were probably just thinking of ways to try to help. But no, that ain't going to happen. Sadly. Okay? Okay. Ryan to me $1.30 says, Twitch is easier. You can get gift cards to cheer for people. You need a credit card or a bank account to tip on PayPal. Most people I know don't tip on Stream Elements ever. It's too sketchy. That doesn't even make sense. There's nothing sketchy about tipping on Stream Elements, Stream Labs, or anywhere else for that matter. What is sketchy about that exactly? Again, what it seems to me is going on. There are people out there who are spreading crazy conspiracy theories for the very reason that they're trying to hurt streamers. I'm not saying specifically it's just me. It sounds to me like there's people out there who are literally making shit up so to hurt others, and then they're spreading it as fact, and they're causing this almost, not panic, but what's the word? Like I said, it's very similar to people who are terrified of getting the COVID vaccine. Even though we know that the side effects do exist, in general, the vast majority of people who get the COVID vaccine will be fine. So everyone should be getting it. But there's a large group of people out there who refuse to get it because they were told that this crazy thing could happen. I could be the 0.00001% who gets a bad blood clot, right? I mean, yes, there's a risk. I'm sure out of people who use PayPal, some people make a mistake, accidentally put in the information, and yeah, maybe one person out of many accidentally gives out their personal info when they're sending a payment via PayPal. It's not common. It's the same deal. Like, I can't believe people would just believe something because they're told rather than actually looking into it and trying to figure it out. I just believe it. It's the same paranoia. That's what it is. It's paranoia. Paranoia over nothing. Absolutely ridiculous behavior, right? Holy crap, man. Anyway, let's see here. ASD tipped $1.30 says, so tips are now mandatory? No. I'm not asking for anyone who watches my content or supports these streams to give anything that they feel is something they can't afford. I'm not saying, hey man, give more. I'm saying, what happened because people were supporting to a certain level and now for some reason they just stopped in the last 2 days. That's what I'm saying. What happened in the last 2 days? I don't know. I don't understand. Because like I said, last week it was great. The week before, that half week was good. All of a sudden, 2 days, everything's slowed down to a crawl. Can't hit a tips goal at all. That's incredibly concerning at a time when I really need the help so I can at least get through this month, pay my mortgage into hurdles, and figure out what I need to do. If I need to move to YouTube by the end of this month, then so be it. I'll do it. I don't want to, but if I have to, I will. But I need to get through this month. I can't just say, oh, well, just throw my arms up to pay nothing this month. That's not how life works. You see? In Xanis, to me, $1.30 says you complain about lag all the time. Either your internet sucks, which it doesn't, or it's a game side server. It is. If it's the game server, why pay so much more for internet if it doesn't make a difference? Because the only internet available, all right, in this area, I've explained this before, but fair enough. The only internet that's available in my area is either the standard level internet, which number one is wonky, goes down all the time, from what I'm to understand for people who actually have it, and has data caps. So not only would you say, oh, downgrade your internet to the cheaper one. I would, but then I would have to pay because I'm exceeding the data caps for streaming. So it wouldn't matter. Net, maybe I would save a tiny bit. It wouldn't be like, oh, Phil's saving a ginormous amount because I'm on the only plan around here that doesn't have data caps. That's the business plan. That's why I pay so much. In addition, and this is actually come in very handy, at times when I've had issues with my internet, the internet goes down, the internet is disconnecting, reconnecting, and even in some cases, you guys remember people DDoS attacking me or DDoS attacking me, whatever it's called, because I'm on the business plan. They come out here within 24 hours and they fix the issue. Twice I've had to have someone come out here within 24 hours and give me a totally new modem to change my IP address. And yes, I know that sounds incredibly stupid because you would think that the company could just change it through the internet. No, they have to actually physically change the hardware. That's how dumb it is with this company. I don't know why it's so dumb, but it is. All right. So the truth of the matter is, as much as people might recommend something, as stupid as it is, it's not going to work. I wish it would, but it wouldn't. Now, Diction's asking for me to ban him. Gee, I wonder why Diction was on the stream to begin with. Not to cause drama or anything. Now publicly asking for a ban, right? Yeah, you were totally here to be helpful and not cause issues. Yeah, of course. Right. Very nice. Thanks for at least living up to my expectations on the stream today. Appreciate that. All right. So in Xanis chipped another $1.30 and says, people are worried about personal info being leaked on PayPal. I wonder how many of them actually use Facebook, Instagram, and Google. Exactly. These people who are getting into crazy conspiracy theories about being doxxed because they tipped someone via PayPal are the same people who put all their personal information out there on the internet on social media and act like that's perfectly safe. Oh, that's fine. It just drives me nuts. It absolutely drives me nuts. Oh, let's see here. Alfred Aponte tipped me $2.30 and says, hey, Phil, I hope you're good. Keep your head up. Thank you, Alfred Aponte, the biggest tip of the day and the latest tip of the day as well. Let's get that on the leaderboard. I am going to keep my head up. I'm not going to give up. Absolutely not, okay? And by the way, I'm going to say this. Listen, first of all, I could be banned off of Twitch for any moment, at any time. I'm shocked I haven't been yet. Because you would think that if they were going to kick me out of the partner program, they likely were going to kick me off of Twitch altogether. Somehow they haven't yet. I'm kind of every moment expecting it's going to happen. I am. Like every moment I'm expecting that I'm going to get unfairly banned off of here, even though I didn't do anything. So it is what it is. If it does happen, we go right over to YouTube. I set some stuff up. We continue on. We got to get some mods, obviously, to move over there or whatever. Excuse me. And I certainly hope that you guys will move over there with me if that happens. I'm just going to say that up front. Not that there's any indication that I'm going to get banned or anything, but obviously it's disconcerting when I've already been kicked out of the partner program and I get an answer like, oh, well, we can't answer your question. Talk to the legal team. That makes me feel like I'm basically kind of, on borrowed time at this point. I want to stay here. I hope they will let me stay here. I like being here, but I don't know if I'm going to be here, extended period of time. Okay? Now, in addition to that, I want you guys to know something. Everyone here who's tipping $1, $2, that helps. I want you to understand that, because some people, what it is, they see, oh, Phil needs to raise so much in a day. This is not helping. It is. It absolutely is. Don't feel bad because, oh, I gave $1 today and that was it. Dude, any piece of support you can lend helps. Anything, the moment you're on my stream, you're just hanging out with me and having a good time. That helps. Through word of mouth, you tell people, hey, come check out Dark Side Phil streams. They're cool. That helps. Anything helps. It's not about, oh, I was the hero. I come to the stream and everyone made fun of me and called me a whale because I dropped a chunky contribution. It's not what it's about at all. Although, obviously, when that happens, that's awesome. That's not expected from you at all. I don't ever want anyone to tell me, oh, I feel bad that I can only help in this little way or that little way. No. Every piece of positivity and help is appreciated. Thank you for that. Okay? Thank you for everything. Okay? Okay. Oliver Holzer Comden. I'm sure this is some disgusting name that I probably should not be saying out loud. I don't know what this name is, so I'm just going to say OHC. Tipped me $1.30 and says, how are you spending $400 a day? I'm not. Oh my God. I'm not spending $400 a day. I've only explained a million times how this stuff works. All right? I swear, with the amount that I've talked about it over the years, you would actually think that by this point, someone would have, with the way that people stalk shit, and I talk about shit, someone would have probably, done a spreadsheet and said, well, Phil says he owes this bill on this date and this bill on this date, and you probably could figure the shit out for yourself, all right? I can't break it down day by day because I don't spend $400 a day. That's ridiculous, all right? What I can tell you, all right, is not only am I paying a mortgage for this home, all right, but in addition to that, I'm also doing many other things. 2 different condo dues that I owe, all right, and it's frustrating that I'm stuck with one of them because I don't live in that condo and it's been foreclosed on for a year, and they still haven't been able to foreclose on it so I could stop paying that. Okay, that's number one. I owe not only federal taxes every month that I'm paying, because I have to pay monthly because of my status with the feds. They require me to pay monthly because I haven't paid for 3 years. But then on top of that, I'm paying all the back taxes in a payment plan that has shifted a bunch of times because every year I owe more. Because I didn't pay all that I owed last year, every year for 3 straight years. So not only am I paying utilities, am I paying for the cost of operating this business, am I paying for just weekly cost of living, food, supplies, and everything like that. I'm paying for a big mortgage, I'm paying a car payment, I'm paying taxes, I'm paying back taxes, I'm paying quarterly state taxes. I have a ridiculous amount of bills to pay. People don't seem to realize that it's not simple. Like when you have a 9-to-5 job at a store, right? That's it. You work, they take your taxes out of your paycheck, right? Usually they take more than what's owed. You get a refund. It's not like that when you operate your own business. Every single month, the government can say I owe more or less, depending on what I made and other factors. So you never can even predict what you owe. And that's how it is with this. It's very frustrating because I wish that it was a simple process. It's not. Every year it's difficult. Last year, for the majority of the year I paid taxes, and it still was told you didn't pay enough, you still owe this amount. So that goes into the back tax plan. But this fluctuates and changes all the time. You guys understand what I'm saying? I hope you do. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to go through every line of everything that I'm talking about. I'm not going to do that. What I will tell you is, no, every day when money comes in, it doesn't immediately get spent. What happens is, it goes to my bank account, and what happens with that? I'll tell you what happens with that. It then goes out and pays bills, right? Today, I just told you, by the end of today, I have to pay my car payment, right? I have to, by the end of today. That's all I have to. There's no way around it. If I don't, then I'm in default, all right? But later on this week, money's going to be taken out of my account for these fucking dues for this condo in Connecticut that I really shouldn't owe, but yet I do, somehow. Okay? It sucks. That shouldn't be the case, but it very much is. You know? And that's just it. Money in, money out. Right? Money in, money out, man. People just want to be into the thick of it. They want to know every single bill and everything. Why? I'll tell you why. Conspiracy theories. They want to sit here and say that the money's being spent frivolously. They want to say this and that. Bullshit. All right? Trust me. Trust me on this. If the money were going to be spent frivolously, it would be on something significant that I would get benefit out of. None of that's happening. Trust me. My money is going to pissing away at these fucking bills and back taxes. And it sucks because, again, I literally just told you guys, not 2 weeks ago, before I was dropped out of the partner program, that if things kept going well for me this year, okay, that I actually was going to be in the clear. It looked like I'd be able to pay all my taxes between now and the end of the year. It would look like everything would be good for me, right? And guess what? Guess what? Look what happened, right? It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. It just figures. It just fucking figures that this just keeps happening over and over. So, it's my story of my life, man. It really is the story of my life. It blows. But what can I do? I'm going to push forward. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. So, by the way, that $200 tip appears to be fake. Are you surprised? It's an unverified tip from someone I don't recognize at all. So it seems like someone here is coming in to try to be a troll and fuck me over for the day, which they are doing, by the way, being that it's fake. So I got to refund it. I got to block the fucking person now from tipping in the future because likely it's fake. Likely this is a stolen credit card style situation. You know? So Ultimate Lurker, who sent me a $200 unverified tip, you can't do that. As I've said many times, I can only accept verified tips. Okay? I can't take a $200 unverified tip, man. Now, it screws me over because actually just, that's a negative towards me. Because now I have to refund it. Great. What a shock that a person who we've never heard of comes in with a $200 tip that's unverified. What a shock, right? So, I refunded it. Please do not send me another tip unless you can verify your PayPal account. If this was a legit tip, Ultimate Lurker, if you were attempting to actually tip me $200, you know, thank you for that, but I can't accept it. So please, if you can, verify your PayPal account. If you attempt to tip me again and it says unverified, I have to block you. Okay? Annoying. And of course, then I got another fake tip too on top of that I have to block and refund. So let's see here. Where is it? This one. Refund this. And block this person. I just love doing this all morning. Instead of playing games and having fun, I love having to sit here and fucking, you know, refund fake tips and block them. That's really what my ultimate goal is here on Twitch, if you guys aren't aware. Yeah, obviously I'm being sarcastic. Dome Splitter to me $1.30 says your taxes are roguelike. My taxes are a fucking pain in the ass is what they are. And it's never going to change. That's the way that the American tax system is set up for self-employed people. It's not a good system at all. It's a pain in the ass, nightmarish system. And it just causes problems. It causes frustration. It would be nice if you could just figure out what you owe, what you don't owe. It's not even possible. You got to guess, and then sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're wrong, and it's a fucking nightmare in that regard, man. It is. So, anyway. All that being said, hopefully now we can move on positively and stop talking about this bullshit. Okay? Snow Carl actually tipped me another $1.30 and said, I'm worried about the Twitch payment. If worst comes to worst, can Cat lend me money? Cat works. Cat does contribute. What my wife does and doesn't do is none of anyone's fucking business. All right? Just being honest here. Okay? It's really none of anyone's business. And no one should ever be bringing something up like that and saying that. My wife, behind the scenes, is very much a part of a contributor to this household. And she does what she can. She doesn't have a job like mine. She doesn't have the luxury of being here and enjoying video games all day on a stream and making a living doing that. Instead, she has to grind out there in a retail job like many of you. And I appreciate the fact that she does that. And I appreciate the fact that she contributes as much as she does. And no one should be questioning that, and no one should be bringing that shit up because it's none of your business, quite frankly. Okay? So don't. I know you're probably just well-intentioned. Don't ever do that. That's not going to be good for you. Let's put it that way. It's not going to put me in a good mood. Fair enough? Okay, so hold on, because I actually did get a legit dollar tip from Snow Carl. And then, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Germworm1725 did actually just tip me a legitimate $100 tip. He says, here, Phil, I actually have a verified tip. Keep up the great work. How's Jasper? Jasper is good. He was very active this morning. My wife actually woke up before me because she now is so used to getting up earlier. She had today off, and she was so used to getting up earlier, she's up before me, way before me. So that gets Jasper up and about. So, of course, that means for me to actually try to sleep the amount of time that I would like to sleep is pretty much impossible on a day when that happens. But it is what it is. You know, it was, hold on a second here because Germworm's the top tipper. I'm not going to complain, but he's very hyper today. Let's put it that way. He's running all about, making noise, doing all kinds of stuff this morning. So, okay. Nine-Tailed Strategist tipped me $5. Said, sorry to hear about these hard times. I hope this helps. Would you consider setting up a monthly tip goal? Tips seem to fall off after you hit the goal, so maybe having a bigger one to reach would make a difference. So here's the thing. Like, it's good to have that. At the same time, I feel if you have a monthly tips goal that seems unattainable, that it won't help. Like, having a goal on a stream. Let me get you up there. Nine-Tailed Strategist. Having a goal on a stream that's like, okay, $100, a couple $100, that's definitely attainable. Having a goal that's like, oh, for the month I need to raise thousands of dollars for the whole month, that could definitely put a damper on things because people feel like, man, that seems like it just is not reachable. You know? I don't think that's a good idea. I think having small, more attainable goals makes more sense versus a larger goal that ends up feeling unattainable. Let's put it that way, okay? So, an anonymous $1.30 tipper. Here we go. I'm going to read it because they're anonymous, so, technically, they're not trying to be insulting, but I guess they're trying to shed some light on the thought process of some people, okay? So here's what they say. I don't give a fuck if you have my name or info. I don't have your name or info. I'm not going to get it from you anonymously tipping me. It's impossible. I can't get your name or info from an anonymous tip. He says, here's why people don't tip. You say you're crowdfunded, but you refuse to ballpark bills for your viewers. Intentionally vague under the guise of conspiracy theory. Give you money, but under your strict terms, it's a joke. Dude, do you have any clue the field day that my stalkers and trolls would have if I laid out all my bills for you? If they knew the companies that I paid for things, if they knew the exact amount of money for a mortgage payment, the exact amount of money for a tax payment, they would just fucking sit there and, again, they would make conspiracy theories. They would contact the companies and try to impersonate me and try to ruin my life as they've done. Like, what are you talking about? Are you out of your mind? Seriously, are you out of your mind? You want me to sit here and outline all my finances to you? That would be the end of my life, essentially. My identity would be stolen for sure. All my accounts would likely be compromised. Like, are you insane? The answer is quite simple. Yes, you are. Because if you think that's a reasonable thing, you're out of your mind. And of course, the Only Iced Coffee just said something in the chat. He goes, and they would just move the goalpost anyway. You're right. Because even if every single piece of data was provided, right, in order to prove or disprove or whatever the hell these people want, then the next thing would be the next goalpost, the next goalpost. That's how they operate. Because the truth is, the people who are like that, they're not ever going to believe me or support me. They're only here for the jollies. They want to basically just make everything over dramatic. They want to make it so everything is a conspiracy theory and negative and terrible, and they want to act like I'm some kind of a villain, right? They're going to do that no matter what. So that being said, why would I waste my time trying to convince people who will never be won over by putting out my personal information on the internet? I would be an idiot. And I'm not that stupid. I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid. By the way, Only Iced Coffee tipped me $20 and says, FYI, to anyone who might actually be troll tipping, when Phil ends up blocking you from tipping, it is nearly impossible to get unblocked from Stream Elements. So let them be warned to think twice about sending a troll tip just to be funny. It's not worth it. That is 100% true. Stream Elements doesn't mess around. When you get blocked from tipping on Stream Elements, they essentially send it to their coder and says, hard code this block so this person can't tip anymore. And even if the tip comes in, it bounces back, and I can't undo that. Like with Streamlabs, I was able to. You can't undo that with Stream Elements. It's permanent. So lest anyone think that this is funny or messing around, let me send a troll tip to Phil and they get blocked. You're never going to be able to tip ever again for any reason. Just ask someone, who is it, Knows Nobody, who very much did that and got blocked. And then I think it was either Knows Nobody or it was Bleach number 9. It was one of the two of them who said, all right, I want to get unblocked. I'm sorry that I sent that troll tip. I'd like to support you legitimately. I can't even get them unblocked. I've tried. I worked with Stream Elements for 3 days, and Stream Elements swears that they were unblocked on there, and it doesn't work. They're still blocked. Okay? It wasn't you, Knows Nobody? I think it was Bleach number 9. I think it was Bleach number 9. Yeah. Was the person who kept asking to get unblocked, and I couldn't do it. I tried for 3 days. So, anyway, the point I'm making is, yeah, don't dick around, because you're not going to, it's not a quick fix. There's nothing I can really do about it. Okay? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I got to use the bathroom. And then I'll come back and we'll jump right in. I'm not going to take a giant break here. All right. I'm just, let's take a break. I'll be back in just a couple minutes, maybe, 5 minutes, if that. And we're going to start with Near Replicant, okay? Thank you to those who have supported so far today. Already, the stream's starting, and we're having this amount of support. It's well appreciated. Thank you for that, because that's the thing. Like, I really need to be hitting these tips goals to get through this time right now when I don't know if I'm going to get paid by Twitch at all. So thank you to those who are tipping here to help out. I appreciate that very much. All right. Hopefully we can hit the goals for the next few days. What I'm really hoping is with Resident Evil 8, people are going to come in and be motivated to support because they really like my survival horror playthroughs, right? So that should be good, hopefully. And, you know, and go from there. So we'll see. Thank you guys. Brief break. Grab a drink. Use the restroom yourself. That's what I'll be doing. And I'll be right back with Nier Replicant. Fair enough? All right. I'll see you guys in a bit.